Okay, welcome to Kojo's Math, and today we're at a new location. Let's see how you'd like this. Notice Mr. Owl hasn't arrived yet. He's flown the coop. He's on his way here. I don't know when he's going to arrive, but he should be here soon. So, we're trying out this new location. Let's see what you think. Today we're talking about solving two-step equations. Now, one of the things when we talk about solving equations that we've done so far is one step, and we always look at what's being done to the variable. And we have to undo what's being done to the variable using what? Yes, inverse operations. So we're going to use inverse operations to isolate the variable, to have the coefficient of the variable as what? Positive 1. Always positive 1. That's our goal. So let's look and see what's happening. This is called two-step equations because there's two things being done to the variable. 6x minus 11 equals 13. Where you're multiplying the variable by 6, that's one thing, and you're subtracting 11, that's the second thing. And remember, we can do whatever we want to an equation as long as we do it to both sides. So, we look to see what's being done to the variable, which we've already said, and we have to undo the x. And to undo the x, we're going to work backwards. Now, you may say, what do you mean by that? Well, when we follow order of operations, we go parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. Here, we don't add and multiply and divide to isolate the variable first. We can, we're not going to do that. It's more difficult. We'll talk about that later. What we're going to do is we're going to work backwards. We're going to add or subtract to isolate the variable first. So if we're subtracting 11, we have to, got to grab my marker. Already I'm in a mess, right? Okay, so when we subtract 11, the inverse operation of subtracting 11 is adding 11. So really what you're doing is you're just going to be doing the one-step equations in two steps where you push them together. So the x's, this cancels. We bring down our 6x. And then we bring down 13 plus 11. Remember, we read it the way it is. It's really important when we have negative numbers that pop up over here, we're adding or subtracting. So 13 plus 11 becomes 24. We're going to divide now by 6, which that should look familiar. 6x equals 24, and we get x equals 4. We do a quick check mentally. If x is 4, 6 times 4 is 24. 24 minus 11 is indeed 13. So, let's look at this one when we have fractions. Again, the same thing. We look to see what's being done. Well, you tell me what's being done to the variable. Okay, yeah. We're adding 4 to it. What else are we doing? Yeah, we have a fraction over here which stands for division. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I'm going to work backwards thinking in order of operations, is I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. I'm going to bring down my n over 7. Remember, what's the coefficient? We can pop this n out if we want to, remember? We can make it 1/7 n if it makes it more comfortable. Now here, very careful, very dangerous. This is what students do. They go -3 minus a -4. That's not what it says. Because when you do that, you make it a plus. That's not what it says. It says -3 minus 4. -3 minus 4, which is -7. You don't add any signs. Well, when we see this, automatically you should think, division, fraction division. I take the reciprocal and change it to multiplication. So I have 7 over 1. These cancel. I have my goal of having a positive 1 coefficient for n. And -7 times 7 is -49. I check it. -49 divided by 7 is -7. -7 plus 4 is -3. Good. I'm going to step back because I have a bad habit of standing in front of the board. Now I want you to try these. Okay, so I want you to stop the video and I want you to try these. I'm going to read them for you because my writing, that's a T. 5 equals 25 plus 4t. -2y minus 4 equals 16. X over 7, or x sevenths plus 9 equals 11. And 2/3 x plus 7 equals -11. Stop the video, do the problems, come back when you're ready. Welcome back. Let's see how you did. Wrong one. I'm going backwards myself. Okay, here we go. So let's check it. This one should have been straightforward. Even though the variable's on the right side, you still write it the same way. Even though the variable's on the right side, you still solve it the same way. You go to where the variable is. You don't subtract 5 here because you've just created another extra step of work. You could, but then you got to redo everything and subtract 20 from both sides. Okay, so you should have gotten negative 5 equals t. You could have t equals negative 5. Plug it in. 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. 25 plus negative 20 is 5. This one, negative 2y minus 4 equals 16. You're going to add 4 to both sides. Divide by negative 2. You should have gotten y equals 10. Plug it back in. Negative 2 times negative 10 is positive 20. Positive 20 minus 4 is 16. Over here we have a fraction. We're going to subtract 9 from both sides. Multiply by the reciprocal. X equals 14. 14 sevenths is 2. 2 plus 9 is 11. And down here I threw a fraction that had something besides a 1 in the numerator. And said 2/3 x plus 7. Subtract 7 from both sides. Here's that tricky thing. Negative 11 minus 7. Should have gotten negative 18. Multiply by the reciprocal of 3/2. X equals negative 27. When we plug it back in here, 3 goes into negative 27 negative 9 times. Negative 9 times 2 is negative 18. Negative 18 plus 7 is negative 11. You should be able to do that. So, what I want you to do right now, I want you to write 2 things that you've learned and 1 question you might still have. Feel good about this. I'll see you in class tomorrow, and we will look forward to Mr. Al joining us hopefully next time. Probably it's going to take him a little longer to get here because the weather's really bad outside and pretty windy. And he only travels at night. See you later.